Well, it's confirmed. Tom Brady still hates the San Francisco 49ers for passing on them. He talked about it on his podcast, Let's Go. And he also had Christian McCaffrey on the show. And so you got to hear a really cool back and forth with Tom Brady and Christian McCaffrey talking ball with each other. But he was asked about his thoughts on the San Francisco 49ers and now that he's retired, because we all know he was a fan of the 49ers. He was even in the stands during the catch in Candlestick. So he grew up a 49er fan, wanted to always play for the San Francisco 49ers. And so he was asked, well, now that you've hung it up, are you a San Francisco 49er fan now? His answer is so Tom Brady. It's beautiful, and he's definitely not a fan. But I'll let you listen to hear the exact words that he uses right here. Take a listen to Tom Brady talking about being a fan of the 49ers.
Are you allowing yourself to be a 49ers fan again? Are you getting over this now that you're out of football?
Now, they passed me up 6 times in 2000, so fuck them. And that whole staff that kept me out because, I had a chip on my shoulder for a long time. Now, I root for a lot of players, and whatever team they're on, I always root for them. And I root for Christian because I really like him and how he plays and his style of play and his team-first attitude, but not necessarily the colors of the jersey anymore.
Christian, that's a harsh assessment. I mean, this kid sat up there during the catch with a finger in his hand, and he's out of football now, and he's still got this going on.
I resonate with that a lot. I think everybody gets it to an extent. Tom says it, which I love, but no, I completely get it. I completely that resonates with me 100%. And I don't know if that. My dad played ball, obviously, and just growing up with him. I've always been very salty and had that chip as well. And seeing you have it, it's always fires me. That's the best player to ever play the game, and he's still pissed off. I'm like, it validates all of my emotions. I'm like, well,
get it out there, Christian. Who is it that you hate? Who are you railing against? Come on, throw it all out here. It's that time of year. That's holiday season. That spirit.
Not enough time in the day, Jim. I don't have enough time in the day to go through all that, but. No, I love it, man. You have to be that way. You have to.
Now, we've kind of known this already. We know Tom Brady's a little bit bitter about being drafted in 199 and being passed over by the entire league, basically. And he's probably a little bit bitter about the San Francisco 49ers because they did take a quarterback. So they were in the business for a quarterback. I think they took Gio Carmazzi over Tom Brady ultimately, and we know how that works out. I think it ultimately cost Steve Mariucci his job. But, of course, he still holds a grudge. He's pissed off about it. I like that Christian McCaffrey understands it, vibes on it. And it's like this is a similar talking point with a lot of guys. And I think Brock Purdy probably feels the same way in a sense, because I don't think he believed that he should have went as late as he did. He's talked about it. He maybe thought 5th, 6th round, something like that. But being the very last pick in the NFL draft, I'm sure once we get Brock Purdy solidified in his career and they start making documentaries and all those different types of things, we'll start to hear a little bit more about this. But I don't think every time Brock is asked about this, he's just like, I'm just thankful to be in the league. I'm just thankful for the opportunity. And of course, he's a humble guy. And so I don't expect him to say that, these other 31 teams that didn't take me, they're on my hit list or anything like that. They very well could be, but I just don't think that's Brock's nature about it. But they talked about a lot of different things. But guess what Christian McCaffrey talked about? And he brought it up all on his own. He wasn't even asked about it. He unsolicitedly brought up the fact that he hates that people call Brock Purdy a game manager. That's all I'll say. I'll let you listen to his part, Christian McCaffrey's part on that right here. And then we'll, of course, react to it on the other side.
Yeah, if I had my vote, it'd be Brock as the MVP. And Trent would be the second in line.
I do get a vote this year, just so you know.
Do you? Oh, man.
I do.
Well, vote for Brock, man. That guy deserves it, man. I know, obviously, you respect that. He's been unbelievable for this team. And I hate when I hear people say anything negative. Oh, he's just a system quarterback. Everyone's a system quarterback. That's part of what being a quarterback is, in my eyes. I don't know much about the position. I try to stay in my lane and just try to get open and block and do all the other things. But I mean, when you play within a system, that's about all you can ask for. And then occasionally you make the plays outside of the X's and O's, and that's all he's done all year. So he gets my vote. But to your point, I think that's why football is the best game on the planet Earth, is because you don't have to be a talker. You don't have to be a speech guy before the game. You don't have to it doesn't matter what you do or what you say. All that matters is the silent tape. And when you turn the tape on the next day, you can tell who loves you. And it's the biggest, it's the biggest example of love when somebody's doing something unselfish for you and asking for nothing in return. And that happens all over the football field all the time on these good teams. And, I've been on the good ones, I've been on bad ones, and that's the difference, and those plays, like you said, that are celebrated in the meeting room, you become an outcast if you don't do that. If you're not one of those guys that's, trying to even just following the ball in case something happens, you're ready to pick a fumble up, hustling to the, in and out of the huddle. It's those little things that just, to me, make it fun, because it's contagious.
Now, again, the huge reason why we keep hearing about this is because Cam Newton said what he said, and he poured gasoline all over it. And again, Christian McCaffrey was teammates with Cam Newton. He knows Cam Newton personally. They played together. And he just said without saying that he does not like Cam Newton's take on Brock Purdy at all. I love it. I love the energy. We've talked about this before. We've talked about how these 49ers players, the way that they're built, and the kind of the foundation that was set with so many people taking shots at Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, and now Brock Purdy, it's like ingrained into their DNA to like defend their quarterback. And it's just something that they've always done, and they've always done such a good job at it. And so when you have a quarterback who's playing as well as he is, and you have these people saying this about Brock Purdy, these guys hear it and they clearly don't like it. So I think it's just another motivating factor. And again, we're hearing it from this talking head and that talking head and this former player and this guy. And I've seen a lot of the comments like, well, why do we keep talking about this? It's like the players feed off this stuff. They really do. Like we're talking about, the chip on the shoulder. Christian McCaffrey talked about the chip. He's like, I totally understand that chip. There's something about being a competitor and being pissed off about something, whether you need to prove someone wrong, you need to right a wrong. I don't know, do something. There's something about the competitive nature of a person when they have that chip. That's why they talk about it all the time. And so I like it. I like that the boys are rallying. We heard from George Kittle. We heard from Christian McCaffrey. We heard from John Lynch. They're not vibing with the game manager talk. And I like it. And I like that they're openly discussing it. And I like that Christian McCaffrey brought it up all on his own. Let me know what you guys think. I'll put in the description a link to the overall podcast. So you could go click on it and listen to the whole thing. It's a good listen. It's about 30 minutes. I definitely recommend it. So go check it out and let me know what you guys think about what Tom and Christian had to say. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.